This is Taiwan's radio innovator.
Don't settle for cheap imitations.
There's only one. ICRT, with the island's first 21st century radio podcasting.
For nearly 30 years.
ICRT has done it first.
And we're still doing it.
Here's today's easy news from the podcast fiends at ICRT.
Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. Time for Easy News. I'm Mike Woodward. First, Taiwan news. According to the Council of Agriculture's preliminary tests, none of the 37 fish feed samples collected from local producers contain melamine, the toxic chemical found in tainted China-made dairy products. The COA's test results come 2 days after the revelation that 180,000 kilograms of contaminated fish feed from one manufacturer in Pingdong County had been sold nationwide. COA officials say they will continue to test live fish samples from fish farms and see whether there's melamine residue in the meat or internal organs. But so far, experts and officials cannot agree on how much residue of melamine in fish would be deemed safe, nor can they decide on the limit of the substance allowed in fish feed. The Fisheries Agency Director, Shajer yesterday said that even if fish did eat tainted feed, the possibility of having melamine in its meat is extremely low. Taiwanese record-holding ultramarathon runner Cho Shu-rong will leave France today to return home to continue recuperating after a devastating infection that almost killed her. The 51-year-old Cho succumbed to a serious bacterial infection she contracted through broken blisters when she pressed forward with a grueling 18-day, 1,150-kilometer marathon even after the infection had set in. She was rushed to a hospital in southern France in life-threatening condition where doctors amputated her left leg and right foot. The French surgeons also debrided most of the flesh from the remaining leg in an effort to stop the infection from spreading. Later today, she will be escorted by a French medical team on an international SOS chartered aircraft from the Montpellier airport to Amsterdam, where a Taiwanese medical team will take over the escort mission. Known in Taiwan as the Ultra Marathon Queen, Cho is scheduled to arrive Sunday at Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport. Cho broke the Asian record held by Japanese runner Hiroko Okiyama, who was 46 years old, in an ultramarathon in Greece in March this year, running 785 kilometers in 7 days. In regional news, the United States is concerned about China's naval buildup, including submarine production, because of a lack of clarity about Beijing's intentions. U.S. Navy Secretary Donald Winter made that statement 1 day after a U.S. nuclear-powered aircraft carrier was deployed to a Japanese port. The USS George Washington arrived at its new home of Yokosuka near Tokyo yesterday to replace one of the oldest active ships in the U.S. Navy. International talks on ending North Korea's nuclear arms ambitions may be heading for a breakdown after Pyongyang said it would restore a plutonium-making plant. The International Atomic Energy Agency says that the North is expelling UN monitors from its Soviet-era nuclear plant and plans to start reactivating it next week, rolling back a disarmament for aid deal and putting pressure on Washington. Other world news, Pakistan's president brought the memory of his assassinated wife to the UN General Assembly. AP correspondent Warren Levinson reports.
Ali Zardari, the president of Pakistan and the widower of Benazir Bhutto, used an unusual prop in his address to the UN General Assembly, a photograph of his murdered wife. Bhutto's visage faced the delegates from the lectern, and her presence was very much felt through Zardari's speech.
The personal pain that my children and I feel cannot be fully expressed.
Pakistan's new leader said his country's on the front line in the battle against terrorism, and he warned its territory cannot be violated by our friends, a reference to unsanctioned American attacks on extremist hideouts in Pakistan. Warren Levinson, New York.
News from outer space. China's third manned space mission reached its final orbit early this morning, where astronauts preparing for the country's first spacewalk enjoyed spicy food and the convenience of an onboard toilet. The Shenzhou 7 blasted off from a remote desert site yesterday on a trip designed to showcase China's technological mastery and crown the success of the Beijing Olympics. The launch, part of a space program that could eventually lead to a landing on the moon, was watched by millions of Chinese, and the event has dominated state media. The craft is circling at 213 miles above the Earth, orbiting every 90 minutes, preparing for what a senior engineer said would be the most challenging part of the mission. Taiwan weather forecast. According to the Central Weather Bureau, up north tonight and tomorrow, intermittent rain with a low tonight up north of 24 and a high tomorrow of 27. The center and south tonight and tomorrow can expect clear to cloudy skies with lows tonight between 24 and 26 and a high tomorrow in those two areas of 32. Current temperatures, Taipei 32, Taichung 29, and Kaohsiung 30. That's Easy News at 4. Thanks for listening. I'm Mike Woodward.